Well, this shop, Back to Mono, I've had it for about 5 years now. We've just moved from the mall, which has just closed down. So we've just been doing more sort of second-hand vinyl. But now we've moved here, we're going to decide to do a bit more of the newer sort of stuff now. On Guildhall Street, the same. We had a shop which next to Coffee Aroma, and you go up the stairs, and I was there for 18 years just doing. That was from about 1991 to about 2006, 2007. At the time, vinyl had gone a bit quieter and it was all CDs, but sadly we closed that in 2006 because people were just, everyone seemed to be downloading, or even at the time you could buy CDs for sort of $6.99 from supermarkets, or Amazon, things like that.
Well, we opened the shop in November 1988. We actually bought it as a second-hand shop off somebody else, but our intention was always to get rid of all the second-hand records and sort of build the stock up to basically all brand new stuff, but take away like sort of the vinyl and move into CDs, because that's what the market wanted at that time. You knew what had caused it, and you knew it was coming. There was
supermarkets.
There was two supermarkets built in Hartlepool, two large ones. So there was a Tesco, and they were selling the singles cheaper than we could actually buy them in. You could see the end was coming, and what was happening and what was causing it, and there was nothing you could do about it. There was quite a few, wasn't there? I mean,
Pink Floyd would sell all the time.
All Pink Floyd albums would just continually, you put them on the shelf and they would sell. Oasis, definitely, maybe, that was a big seller.
Constant,
it was massive at the beginning, considering they were a new band. That was the first album, but it just sold and sold forever and a day. Even on 12-inch singles, Oasis and Stone Roses used to sell. You couldn't keep them on the shelves. Oasis and Stone Roses 12-inch singles, they just sold out all the time. Massive sellers.
A lot of them were coloured, and you've brought one along, haven't you? And you used to get like purple and green and orange, and you don't get them anymore.
When we opened our shop in 2009, Back to Mono, we could see it was on the rise again, but we didn't realise it would be as busy as what it has become. I don't think anybody could have foreseen that. So, but thankfully, it has got a lot busier now. Yeah, I think bands like White Stripes have been important because they do everything on nicely packaged, all on coloured vinyls, and then people want to go back to things like the David Bowies, the Pink Floyd, the Beatles albums. And the good thing about those albums were they're often always in gatefold sleeves. They often came with a free poster and a lyric sheet.
I've got a 7-inch single, 42 years old, that's Slade Merry Christmas, and it still gets played today. You'll be hearing it this year.
The last sort of couple of years, vinyl's sort of exploded again. It's got a lot busier. So the idea now is to get back into doing a bit more of the new stuff.
First started buying records about 3-4 years ago. Small shop in Sheffield, where I'm from. Started off like a small time thing. I used to go out buy a single or two, and then it had progressed, and I'd end up like getting 3 or 4 albums a week, something like that. I don't know if I want to think about how much I've spent on records. I'd probably nearly like $2.5 grand, I'd say, quite easily, which is not great for me, but that's what a student overdraft's for, isn't it? If I'm getting my records, it depends really. Sometimes I go to record fairs in Sheffield. With quite a lot to pick through there, old stuff, new stuff. But if it's just like day-to-day sort of thing, like easy pickings, it's just like HMV or Amazon. And obviously there's the one here in Lincoln as well, the Back to Mono. When I used to live here, I used to go in there quite a lot as well.
Yeah, well, I don't think HMV having new vinyl affects us. I think in some ways it helps us really, because it gets the product more out there, and that I think in some ways it probably quite helps, especially sometimes for the second hand. Something like a Fleetwood Mac Rumours, it's something like $29.99 for a new vinyl, and you can buy it used for sort of £7. And there's lots of bands like the Eagles which are relatively easy to find sort of second hand. So I think people see that it's $16.99 there, and you can pick up all the Eagles albums for sort of £4, and it's quite nice to have the originals like that. So I don't think it affects us anymore. I think the days of competition have maybe gone a little bit now in the record industry. I think people more working together nowadays, So yeah, so no, I think anywhere that's got vinyl is probably a boost nowadays. Yeah. Digital, I mean, it's very convenient to have it on your phone or on your iPad and things like that. And the good thing about something like Spotify, you can go back to a band that it's not going to cost you a fortune to check out the back catalogue. So it has a lot of its advantages, to have music just at your fingertips and that.
You can take your digital media anywhere you want to go, basically, and play it anywhere. I mean, on your phone, tablets, you can just take your card with you, basically, and plug it into whatever you want.
You can't really take a record on the bus with you. I suppose Spotify is quite useful in that sense.
I used to go home with my LP, and it sounds sad you'd put the A-side on and you'd sit there with your cover and you'd read the lyrics on the back, or you'd read about the band in the little book that came with it.
Then you hear the warmth, you know, you get a really nice, rich sound, you see, and vinyl is a better format, yeah, definitely.
There is a lot of information, like music information, stored on an LP, and if you've got the right equipment, it's an unbelievable sound.
It's just the best all round, really, and it's better because you get like the artwork to look at, whether it be small or 12-inch albums, whereas on your phone it's just yay big, so it's not quite as good.
The first one I ever bought from a shop, Queen, and I did the Opera, and I've still got it in pristine condition today. Now that means a lot to me, and as a kid, I kept all my albums in good condition, and to be able to go back 40 years later and say, look, still got scratches on from playing it, obviously, but the case, I had a plastic cover over it. I've kept it immaculate just because it is something that means something. A digital download, it might be good to listen to, but what have you got?
It's nice to look through somebody's record collection, you know, you pull things out and play it while you're chatting. It's not quite the same with just a download. It means that you have to listen to the album in its entirety, and that, you know, you have to get up and switch it over. Because something like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon or the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper, they were there to be listened to in their entirety. You know, the track order was done for a reason. You know, so I think people like to just sit down and it becomes more of an event, I think.
When it comes to owning something, I think vinyl, you can't beat it. I mean, if you're asking sort of 40 years' time, people your age, what was the first download they ever made? Do you think they'll remember it?
My favourite album would be the Stone Roses' first album.
Van Morrison, Astral Weeks.
I can't remember the title of the album now, but it was by Melissa Etheridge.
There's nothing really amazing about it. They're not great singers, not a great band together, but it's a quality album, that.
I like all the singer-songwriters, you know, like Bob Dylan, I like Neil Young, Joni Mitchell.
I used to play it every Saturday morning. It was just like music, nice music to listen to.
I thought that when vinyl came back, it would be just like a fad, a fashion statement sort of thing. What with Urban Outfitters becoming a big sort of influence on like the younger generation, and they've started selling record players, I think it makes people want to pick it up, take one home, buy a couple of albums. That and the 90s is back, isn't it? Really, like the 90s is a huge thing at the minute, and they just had records in the 90s.
I found it's making its way back, but it's done it before.
I think it's always going to be there now. I think, you know, yeah. I don't think vinyl's really going to go away now. So, you know, yeah. I think all the formats, you know, like CDs, people don't have the same affection to a CD as they do a vinyl or a cassette or anything, and certainly not a download. So I think it'll always be there. Yeah, maybe not quite the boom that it's having at the moment. It may even itself out, but I think hopefully for the next 10, 15, 20 years it'll continue.
I would stick with digital now, but I've still got all my old albums, 12-inch singles, haven't we? And we still play them ourselves on our record player. But I wouldn't personally go out and buy vinyl again myself. But I can see the attraction for people who do.
Yeah, I think I'll keep collecting as I get older. It's just something that once you start, you can't really stop. It's like an addiction, but a nice one.